No, but like I mean, like the fact that there's a lot of like everybody gets free education up until through your PhD. So like
your PhD.
Yeah. So you
wish.
Man, welcome to the intro. No need for introductions. All about the world and the world what we discussing. Where every single thought that we had came from something. So it's funny that we made it when we started here with nothing. Gotta open up your mind just to find out why. When you lost inside the dark, just gotta turn on the light. And no matter what you do, you never run from a fight. Because we fighting to be better and that's why we strive.
Hi, I'm Corey McCain, CEO of WeStrive, the #1 platform for personal trainers, gym owners, and coaches to both manage and scale their business. I'm your host for Why We Strive, where every Tuesday I sit down with some of the most incredible tech founders, investors, and creatives to find out how, when, where, and why they strive. Be sure you tune in every single Tuesday and check us out at whywestrive.com for more info. Now, let's get to this week's episode. Awesome. Well, we have my good friends here. Wait, how do we meet? OKC?
We met in OKC.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thunder Launchpad.
Good
Yeah.
Thunder Launchpad. Go Sonics, though. Just fucking seriously.
Hedgehog?
Still our team. Different thing.
Different genre.
Well, sweet. I'd love to have you guys here. So pumped. We're going to have a good time at the party tomorrow. But
Absolutely.
we have my guy, Martin and Matt here. Do you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves?
Matt MORFOPOULOS, co-founder, head of growth at Volt.
There we go.
Yeah, Martin Langelo Lien, co-founder and CEO.
What was your middle name?
Langelo Lien.
That's sick. Okay, very cool. Can we do a cheers? We got Tequila 512 here.
Let's do it.
Local. Oh,
For
tequila.
tequila,
You guys
9 for
twins?
1.
Cheers. There we go.
Cheers.
Got a little tequila soda. I usually make the WeStrive batch.
Also,
that
did
they
you
made
say
for me.
tequila 941 or did you say 512?
512? What do you?
I said tequila 941. So
Where did you even get that number?
I don't know.
Isn't like the area code of
Trailer
Austin?
free.
Yeah, it is area code Austin.
Close to
We'll look up what 941's area code is and see if they have their own little tequila.
Something they can branch into.
Well, sweet. So when I met you guys, you were building a texting platform. We'll get into that in a sec. But now you run Volt. So what does Volt do? And then we'll break down the rest of, how you guys got there.
Want to take it off?
Let's do it. Yeah. So Volt. So for us, we're pioneering into messaging ops. So that
Okay.
means right now there's this kind of unseen part of building SMS functionality into your platform.
Okay.
Where yes, Twilio revolutionized the space in 2008 when they built CPaaS, made it possible to programmatically build SMS into your software. However, nobody talks about all the man hour that it goes behind it once you scale up.
Okay.
It's one of the only channels right now where you don't know if something is wrong unless a customer complains to you. And for us, having run a text marketing company for 3.5 years, we certainly felt that.
Yeah.
So
Wait, so you're saying that like you're sending the text out, but you don't know if they're working or
No,
not,
literally,
basically?
like to manage and analyze all the error codes and logs of messages going out. If they are undelivered, it comes back this error code 4051 whatever, and for the average Joe, they're like, what the heck does this mean?
Oh, so like every possible error comes back as the same
Yeah.
error. Gotcha.
And
gotcha.
sometimes the carriers and the providers will actually throw back error codes that are like ambiguous, like, yeah, bad phone number is like, well, what kind of bad phone number? Was it a landline? Did they just not pay their phone bill? Like, what happened?
So you guys translate that into...
we translate that to
Ah,
actual
interesting.
proper language that engineers can then solve the problem. So that's the
wow.
big thing. And more than importantly is probably the fact that we let them just no build, just put their API key in for Twilio, bandwidth, telling whatever CPaaS provider.
So you work with Twilio in that way?
As we're partners there.
Gotcha.
So,
Did I say it?
and
Twilio?
Twilio.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
So basically then letting them just connect without having to build anything, no customer success rep having to fight for room on the roadmap.
Yeah.
And they will be proactively notified that message has failed. So no longer having to wait for their customers to QA their platform.
It sounds like a simple thing, but right now everyone just has to build it themselves in varying levels of quality. And half the time they're like, you have this messaging ops specialist or this VP of legal and messaging ops, and they're like, oh, engineering team, I need better dashboards. We built this thing, and they have to keep it up. And then half the time the industry changes month by month.
Gotcha.
And so now they don't have a tool that is consistently getting upgraded and updated with the industry standards.
See, I had no idea that's what you guys do. Usually I'll study the
We
person.
pivoted pretty hard.
Yeah,
Since,
I was gonna say.
we were on like the Building Fires podcast.
Oh, you
with
were
and
on
Carter.
that.
Yeah.
It was on my original podcast. I forgot about that. I mean, that was like 3 years ago.
It was a good time, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I usually do research on who I'm interviewing, but like I just know you guys, so I was like, it's texting, something like that. I had no idea that's how you pivoted. So you you ran a business and, it was going well, whatever, but like you saw how annoying the problem was of your current business, and you're like, well, if we're experiencing this and this is our business, like I guarantee you corporates are experiencing this, and then you built a product that solved that problem.
What's funny about that? We talked and interviewed to most of like these huge companies who were SaaS platforms deploying SMS.
Yeah.
And they'd hire people like 50 member teams just to do this one task.
Damn.
And we realized, okay, there's a lot of manual effort that goes into doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we shrink the team up just so that you can streamline the process? But for a lot of the companies that aren't as big as these bigger players, they're starting to hire like 1, 2, maybe 3 messaging ops specialists with varying different roles. And how do we enable them to streamline their work and really be effective instead of having to be really good at Excel, just pulling a lot of these error codes and just putting it in Tableau and figuring it out manually.
Gotcha.
We're just streamline that process so it's just as easy as hit a button, cool, this is what I gotta do.
So cool. How'd you guys land on the name Volt? Because wait, what was the old company? Okay,
Respond Flow.
I knew it. Respond Flow. Okay,
Yeah.
Volt's way better. It's faster.
Volt is a lot easier, and it's also a 4-letter word.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get? Wait, what's your website right now?
Textvolt.com. Volt.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of companies.
I was gonna say there's no way you had Volt.com.
Yeah, we couldn't beat Chevy. No, it was for like Volt.com. I think it's actually like a global like recruiting company or something.
Okay,
but,
gotcha.
Yeah, so for Volt, like really we knew that we were kind of fresh and different in telecom, and telecom has a lot of just extremely literal names.
Gotcha.
Like text happy, happy text, like whatever. And we just wanted to at least be a brand that people could remember, and more than anything, really display our kind of young, energized kind of brand, and the fact that we want to at least disrupt something. Yeah. So figured that Volt was a good name.
Isn't Twilio based in Oklahoma too?
Oh, no, they're San Francisco based.
What's the company in OKC? Is it Twilio? No, it's.
Oh, you're talking about Tailwind.
Tailwind, that's what it is.
Yeah. No, they do nothing with text. They are
the
they're
wrong
like social
company.
media planning or something. Yeah.
Cool, just delete
But
that.
wasn't the CEO of AT&T an OU grad?
He was.
So we're facts of the day.
There you go. Wait, did you guys go to OU also?
Yeah, that's where we met.
And Garrett too, right?
Oh
I
no.
went to OC.
No. I went. Yeah, OC.
Yeah.
So he was in kind of downtown OKC.
Was it a Christian school or something like that?
Yep.
Wait, why are you laughing? That it is called OC. I figured it.
Yeah, Oklahoma Christian University. I think.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I
correct.
thought it was Oklahoma City.
Or is it Oklahoma
I
City?
have no idea. Maybe we should walk downstairs.
We're gonna have to ask him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's Garrett though. Very cool. Wait, so at what point when you guys were building your Respond Flow, do you go like, okay, fuck this, we're going to Volt? Like, was it like
a pivot? It was a pivot for sure.
Because it was a massive. I remember being in the car with you guys last year in September for Farhaj's birthday.
Wow.
Because that you guys were you hadn't switched yet, right? At that point.
Well, I guess we were working on it, like in the background, doing a lot of customer interviews. But we were still operating responsible. I mean, we still are today.
Yeah.
So.
I remember sitting in the car with you guys, and we were just like going on. You guys were just pitching pivots for us. You're like, well, we could do this, we could do that, and I was like so like into talking to you guys about that. And it's so crazy that you landed on a pivot that is like now a successful company, and like you're growing so fast.
No, it's fun.
Like,
it's really fun. I mean, I will say like everything, it's a lot of luck. Like we originally we raised our 2.5 million when we knew that we wanted to pivot, and we knew that we had a lot of understanding in how the legislation was changing when 10DLC came to the market. Just for anybody listening, 10DLC stands for 10-digit.
Just for everybody listening.
Yeah.
10-digit number. No, I mean, I feel like a lot of people will not know what 10DLC is.
That's what I'm saying for everyone.
Yeah, so 10 digits stands for 10-digit long code, so 10DLC. So that is basic. I mean, in finance, there's a lot of terms where they're trying to confuse people by having the abbreviation stand for something that already exists.
Okay.
10-digit long code has been around since SMS and since Twilio started, because that was an option you had. 10DLC, the abbreviated version, is now basically like having to do your taxes before you're allowed to send SMS. You have to register that you're a U.S. company so that people aren't sending just like a bunch of spam messages.
Gotcha. So you have to be like an official tax paying company.
Yeah. So to be able to send any SMS in the U.S., even if you're American Airlines, you now have to register with the campaign registry. So the ones that oversees 10DLC, and you have to make sure that you put your EIN in, and that everything is fully kind of registered. Otherwise, you might get a 10,000 fee. If it happens 3 times, you actually get blacklisted.
Dang.
You have to pick what kind of use case you're using the number for. Like if you're a politician, there's secondary vetting. if you want to send a lot of text message, you even have to go through other channels to actually get your accounting or at least your throughput lifted.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Has American Airlines paid their taxes yet? Do we know if they're legit?
We don't have an auditor yet.
We can't tell. We're not gonna throw anybody under the bus. No, but I do
pay your
believe
taxes.
it would be hard to
Okay, good to know. How many versions of Volt have you guys gone through in the last? We'll call it a year. Is about?
Yeah. I mean, we started really iterating on it once we closed our seed round last.
Did the investors know you were pivoting when you were closing it? Because
yes.
I think you told me that the investors at that time were just like, we believe in you guys. Like, just fucking figure it out, please.
I mean, they underwrote it on us originally when we were going out. I mean, it was kind of like just the fact that all of this regulation was coming to the market and nobody was actually addressing it. Mm-hmm. So like customers was out there not knowing, like it's basically like you being told you have to do your taxes, mm-hmm. but you have no idea what the rules are. And the only place you can find the rules is on this 27-page FAQ sheet that is like so talking opposites and like just really kind of self-predicting itself like on issues. So
gotcha.
Like for us, we were raising the 2.5 for us to basically build a TurboTax of SMS and help people get registered and help companies that had thousands of customers, because this process could take 3 days when it first rolled out. And companies like ManyChat, for instance, who has 10,000 people sending SMS on behalf of them, like getting them all registered would have taken their team so long. So
and then how long could you guys do it in? Like,
we would be able to do it programmatically once we had it built. But the thing was, we started talking to the customers, and they were like, well, we've hired for this. We're trying to work this out. So we're like, okay, what is next for us then? Like right now, we know that there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of inefficiencies. As we started talking to people, we were like, okay, well, they want a gateway that just handles this for them. Because it's not just the registration, it's the throughput limits. That's the issue. Suddenly, every business, and I mean, talk corner stores, need to know which one of their 1,000 contact list of their customers was with AT&T, who was with T-Mobile, and who was with Verizon. People didn't ask that. When you go to a coffee shop, they just ask you to put in your phone number for a reward system. They don't ask you like what carrier you have. So suddenly they were all at the burden of, well, if you send too many to T-Mobile, you're going to get $1,000 fine. It's like,
that's why they care. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
It was costing a lot of small businesses that didn't really have the assets to be able to solve this. So we wanted to help that for them. So we were first thinking, let's just build a gateway that could do this on the back end. We can automatically know what carrier people are with, and we could regulate it. Then we talked to a couple of the customers that we were thinking of working with, and they were like, I guess we could implement this, but let's be real here. Like we have to trust with the ones that have been there for years, and we have to stick with that for a while. So we were like, okay, well, would you consider us like as a secondary one? And they said, yeah. No, we're about to update our failover system. And we started hearing that again and again and again, and we were like, okay, so every massive company that sends SMS has redundancies, but they have to maintain now 2 systems and 2 standards of record with being able to send SMS for Twilio and bandwidth, let's say.
Yeah.
These APIs are completely separate, and they do so on purpose to have a moat for people switching. But there's also a lot of like technical burden on building the ability to send on behalf of these. So getting far too in depth there, by the way. But
I'm listening.
Like as we were talking through that, we were like, okay, we could build that, but what is the reason why it's so hard to build? And it's because it's hard to tell which carrier is better. It was hard to tell like what is actually like going wrong here. And that was when I think Matt was actually the one that started thinking about like, well, what does like this look like to analyze? Like, what if we could help people actually see what was going wrong? Like the gateways currently, they're not incentivized for you to actually get your messages delivered, because they charge you on API attempts. So every time that you programmatically ask them to send a message, they charge you.
Gotcha.
So
if it's not going through, you're like
you get charged anyway.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they don't care, especially if the message would never go through, because then they don't even have a cost.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay,
so
gotcha.
why would they optimize for this? Yeah. And that's where we were like, well, this is what every customer wants. Why don't we make what the customer wants?
I think what's interesting about what we're doing now, we sell this in a lot of our client meetings, but like it's not something someone couldn't build, and people have built it.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we started having those learnings. We'd had people and some early users of our like like Martin said, this TurboTax for SMS, this gateway that we built, and they'd get on it. But then we see a lot of mature companies and be like, oh yeah, we built this. We ended up building like this dashboard. We ended up building integrations to all the major providers from Twilio, Telnix, Bandwidth, so on and so forth. And what we realized is that everybody eventually has to build these things to make it work. But when you actually look at the market, they don't do it really well. And because it's, again, like I said before, and what Martin's saying, like it's not a priority for these companies, but it literally is the thing that drives the business forward. But like, because there's so much demand on the front end of it, like say you're a platform that's deploying SMS for, I don't know, doctor's office.
Call it gyms.
Let's do gyms. Very on brand.
We strive.
We strive.
Yeah, because you own a bit like a gym software, right?
Right?
Yeah. Let me tell you all about it.
But what you should be focused on is more so building really great features to make gym owners be able to create flows and automated engagement solutions. You shouldn't really be worried about SMS accounting and how to get the optimal throughput. And if you get all this error code messaging back, you shouldn't want to have to build an internal tool that like displays this stuff.
Yeah, it's not even important.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important, but it's not like top of mind.
You wouldn't build Google Analytics yourself. You were just using Google Analytics.
Exactly.
Why would you not use a dashboard pre-made to analyze your SMS?
Bam.
There you go.
And here we are.
Exactly.
Let's take a quick step back though. Why in the original days of things did you guys choose SMS? Was just you to start and you came on board later?
Yeah, so it started while I was actually working where Garrett used to work.
Okay. So you sent your first text. Yeah, you sent your first text and you're like, this is what I want to do.
This is amazing. Yeah, they don't have that in Norway.
The rest of my life,
yeah,
I
came
want to
to
send
America.
these.
I was sending SMS, so practical. No,
Love the first text. Love the first
no, I was
message.
joking. They do have SMS in Norway, but for as we were running the business side of the medical device startup that we were at, Martin Bionics.
So what was it called?
Martin Bionics.
Did
It was incredible for me to call people and say, hey, so this is Martin from Martin Bionics.
Oh, I thought you...
I didn't start
okay.
it. It's not my company.
Gotcha,
it was started by Jay Martin, this visionary guy, but
Nice.
I got the benefit of being able to say this is Martin from Martin Bionics, who's really the winner here.
Very nice.
No, but it was really cool working there. I mean, they were quick about them, prosthetic startup, really, really innovative technology. For amputees, and we were able then to switch from being a manufacturer to start helping by building clinics and hiring doctors ourselves, so that we could, of course, we were building the technology, we could fit it better than anybody else. And soon there was a lot of traction. There was a lot of people flying in internationally from Germany, from Africa. It was like basically everybody was coming to Oklahoma City to get their prosthetics because they knew it was so much better.
That's crazy.
So it was really fun, really cool time. But we realized also that a lot of people didn't know about this, and that was when we got somebody on who was really good at paid ads, and immediately we spent like $60. We got like 3,000 leads.
It's crazy.
Amputees that felt like they were spoken to so much. They dropped their insurance card, their doctor name and contact details, their address, everything, and even picked a time on the calendar for us to call them.
That's
so
crazy.
when we picked up the call, or our salespeople picked up the call, and they were like, hey, trying to talk, only 7% picked up the phone. And that was abysmal. It was embarrassing for me because my prior experience was setting up these automations. So
Gotcha.
then basically realized okay, well, let's figure something out here. So we started texting them, and our salespeople started texting them, and immediately we saw a 233% increase in conversion rate.
Very cool.
Which was amazing. The problem was we had our salespeople then texting them, and they would be on 4 of these calls an hour. So they would be on the call with Meredith as they were texting Tom, and they would be like, hey, Meredith, or hey, Tom, while they're on the phone, say the wrong name. As the innocent version of it, they were saying the wrong amputation level. And if you're talking to somebody who has a below-the-knee amputation, and you're talking about how good our elbow prosthetics are, it's like going to the dentist and being told yeah, let's check out your eyes. It's no, I don't trust you at all. Get away from me.
Are we performing surgery on your right or left leg?
Exactly.
Left, no, my right.
Exactly.
Figured out that we needed some automation there, and we started digging into okay, well, how can we automate this text? Started looking at every tool in the market for about 4 months. There was nothing that allowed for that personal communication, and of course, the salespeople, I wouldn't even call them salespeople, they were also wearing our technology. So they wanted to keep it authentic, and that's what we wanted for our brand too. we didn't want it to be like, oh, a 5-digit text that came over and was like, hey, get ready for your call. Like we wanted it to be from the amputee that was actually about to talk to them about their shared life story.
Gotcha.
And no tool allowed the ability to send from a local 10-digit number that allowed the customer to text back and call back and reach the same, at this point, amputee as they were receiving the text from, and then also having the same automation capabilities that email marketing had done for years. So that was when we just decided to build it. So I was...
Damn. You did that on your own? Like you went off and just...
Well, I mean, like, I guess I had the aha moment that this was necessary on my own, but like that was when we started like really pulling in the co-founding team. So like, Matt and like really starting to like build this thing. And I think that really kicked off when we realized that this isn't something that was just necessary for Martin Bionics. This was necessary for other sales teams too, because everybody benefits from actually building that relationship, starting with a text, and not when you get on the call, it's like, hello,
exactly.
this is Corey.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, then suddenly it seems like a cold call, even though it's scheduled.
Yeah, exactly. So. And what's the dynamic between you guys? Like, are you guys like, you guys live near each other? Do you work in person, remote?
I mean, we used to live with each other, so like.
Shout out Tulsa.
Man, and OKC.
Yeah, we were in the startup house there.
I still haven't been to Tulsa. I'll tell you guys what, really quick. I am so grateful for my 4 random months I spent in OKC. Like, I met the whole Pipe Dream team, Jackson, Justin, Tim, like, all those guys. Like, I mean, it's just crazy that, like, I lived there for 4 months and I have, like, these lifelong relationships, like, with you guys. It's like crazy. It's so cool.
It's fun.
It's the weirdest, like...
I mean, honestly, we were talking... Well, I say we. Matt was talking about this on the plane right here. We were talking about how it's, like, basically a cult. I mean, it's in a positive way. No, not OKC. Startups.
Oh, 100%.
It's not in a
100%.
bad way.
Yeah.
It's just like we feel like it's the way that we live.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that we all choose to live because we think is the best way to live.
Exactly.
So we can all talk about shared experiences no matter what the startup is, no matter whether or not we're doing a moonshot like Garrett and them are with Pipe Dream, or if we're doing something telecom, right? So it's like completely different.
We can all just vibe on it.
We can all vibe.
Exactly.
We know the ramen budget.
You're
like, know the struggle.
You're like, you're like, oh, your investor pulled your check too? Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
And we can all just like laugh about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what's the dynamic though? Like you guys like split everything 50-50 now. Like what do you?
We live separately. Yes, I mean like right now we moved to Tulsa. It's still basically the same company as ResponFlow.
Yeah.
We just rebranded.
Same shareholders, everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Same investors.
Cool.
That's the big thing there. So we didn't like shut that down.
I did the same thing with one of my pivot. I was like, I feel weird. We're still in fitness, so I feel weird fucking everyone over, and I would never do that. So I just kept.
Yeah, you kind of just have to keep it rolling, right? And it's like it's not our investors' fault.
Exactly.
I mean, we got 3.5 years fully knowing the industry we're going into now, and that's what gives us credibility to now talk to the.
Oh, you have 3.5 years of runway right now?
No. We've been running. I mean, Volt started January 2019.
Gotcha.
So we've been
back.
Yeah. So we've been pushing for like 3.5 years. I guess like we launched the first version of ResponFlow in June of 2019.
Yeah.
And then of course like we were making like $5 that first month, like so it's like it's not the same. And then now we're at Volt and we're seeing already how incredibly much faster we can grow something from the start. Like of course we have a team now, but we were able to take us from 0 to $127,000 in ARR in 90 days.
Cheers.
Which is
Cheers.
Cheers.
You might need a refill.
Yeah. We got some right there.
Shout out to the sponsor.
Is that where you guys are at right now? 127 ARR right now?
Yeah, that was by last month. So now it's heading into this new month. So we got some more growth and continuing the growth. I mean, right now it's not about the revenue. It's like more about the fact that we are getting validation from the market. Yeah. And the fact that everybody is seeming to agree. Like Matt is fucking, he's killed it on being able to identify our customer. I mean, no, like from like being able to know first, like, okay, how do we find other people like ResponFlow? Right? Yeah. Because it's like, it's a niche market. But then realizing that it's not just text marketing companies.
Wait, you guys are selling to text marketing companies?
Yeah. Oh. So we're talking to the industry leaders.
Gotcha. I thought you were going like to the Walmarts and like being like, we're going to...
No, we're not telling them that they can build their own. We're going to the ones that have already built their own that was much bigger than ResponFlow.
We're literally turning our competitors into our customers.
Dude, damn. Yeah. Well, you probably knew your competitors really well too. So you're like,
well, we definitely knew their struggles.
We basically say, hey, remember that one time that this person did this or this company did this upcycle, and they're like, yeah, you know this problem that happens when you don't know like when messages fail and your customer comes to you complaining, you have no idea what's going on? Same, bud.
Nice. You're like, remember when we shit on you during our pitch? Yeah.
just forget that.
We were kidding. It was a total joke.
We were pretty good at that. We didn't know hate ads. We didn't know ads to their actual brand and stuff.
Nice.
So,
But it's actually pretty cool because like I mean it's a very small group in teleco, and everyone knows how crappy it is to work in teleco and how much of a black box. And so like anybody doing anything innovative in the space in a new way, they all grab you like, how are you doing this? Like, this is really cool.
Very
Like
cool.
you just mentioned a few key things, and there's like a few telltale signs that's like, okay, you know what you're talking about with what error code and like the experience. But like if you can kind of relate to these people, it's like, oh my God, you get me. Like there's almost like I was talking the other day on LinkedIn and Twitter, just like over DMs, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a real nerd about this stuff. And it's like, honestly, we geek out about this all the time. I call it like we're almost like trauma bonding with these people of how
100%.
shitty the industry is
100%.
half the time.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love when I'm talking to someone and I'm like, well, we're making this in MRR, and I'm like, oh, sorry, and they're like, oh no, I know what MRR is, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then just like go off.
Oh my God.
I love there's like regular people happen to know what these terms are. It's like, same
Right.
situation.
But to circle back to your original question, me and Martin,
we
we live in different apartments. It's actually for the better.
Yeah.
He has a girlfriend, so it'd be kind of weird. Like
now I live with my girlfriend and 2 dogs.
I'm just gonna live on the couch.
We do have a guest room though, so Matt is always welcome.
Everyone loves Nicole though. Shout out,
she's amazing.
shout out Nicole.
She's the best.
Better marry. He's gonna propose later.
Oh my God! Stop your shit.
Just wait.
God damn it.
That's
Corey.
on here though. But yeah. So, but do you guys like? How do you guys split up like tasks and that kind of stuff? Are you just kind of like you're like Matt do this, or is it like, hey Martin, we need this done? Like,
we're now a bigger team. That's got to be said. Like when we raised our, I guess it was 2.5 million in June or July of 2021, that allowed us to be able to hire people much smarter than us, and probably for the first time go into hiring people that are specifically skilled. Like
exactly. That's the best way to do it. Like I love when I like my thing was I never wanted to hire like a CMO. I wanted to hire like the best SEO person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like I want you to do that.
Right.
And it's like I wish we could go even that like narrow. Like right now it's like it still is like we hired somebody who is amazing at head of product.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you gotta have a head of product.
Like, head of product was necessary. Yeah. Like managed to get a great head of customer success.
There you
go.
That
which is probably like for some people is not like the first thing you would hire. But for us, we were still operating Responsible, and Responsible is still running. It was like $29,000 a month right now, still like just rolling.
Seriously?
With the same customers. Yeah.
Like revenue or like processing?
Revenue. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it's like that is just
maybe pivot back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
no, but that's handled by like a half James, our customer success rep. So our head of customer success.
Is that growing still or what? Like,
well, I mean, it was for a while. Now we're not even updating the software anymore because we're so bullish on messaging ops.
Bro, you can't throw away $29,000 a month. Though.
We are not throwing it away. But I mean, if it took us
little, like, if you need to just do an hour update, is like
we would never throw it away. But I mean, right now we're working with people who would be able to serve our customers like eventually better than us.
Of course.
At that point, we would rather them work with us on Volt, and then we give them our customers. We would never leave our customers in the dirt.
I don't mean throw it away, but I mean like give it a little update. You know, give it a little 20K,
29K. We make sure the wheels are turning.
I was gonna say, I was like, you don't. I was like, hiring me for 29K, I will. My shit is running.
We will break even on that.
Exactly.
I think at the end of the day, I mean, me and Martin play very generalist roles. At the end of the day, like when I have zero time to do something, Martin will pick it up. When Martin doesn't have time, I'll pick it up. But like we're still playing that validation step because I mean, just like what we've been doing with the product. I mean, any marketing program, sales program, partnership, or even on the ops side, it's like unless we validate it, it's not true. Yeah. And so we're taking a really methodical way of just validating each part of the business. And so that's where we kind of tag team a lot of this and just make sure that there's some sort of process of like the scientific method. I feel like that's such a buzzword.
You're good,
yeah. But like at the end of the day, it's very much a validate, and then we'll put someone who's really an expert at that to basically show us the ropes of how do we expand this program or how do we expand this part of the business.
I love it, dude. I love the dynamic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Norway earlier. I wanted to ask you, how is the Norway startup scene?
Oh, I am so unprepared to answer that. I've been here for the last 7.5 years.
Yeah, you visit though. You don't go to a Norway tech happy
hour.
When
I visit my family. I don't go to hang out with the
How
startup
many
community.
Norwegian founders have you met in the U.S. so far?
In the U.S.?
Not
even one.
Really?
Not even. Well,
look at a mirror.
In college, remember college?
Well, I mean, not that became founders. I think
you were like the only Norwegian at Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was 3 of us, but 2 of them graduated the first year I got there.
Nice.
The lone Viking.
Nice. Yeah, no, but there's one right now that's really killing it.
Volt.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm talking about a solar startup. So it was a guy,
cool.
but I met him through like a scholarship I got at OU.
Nice.
So we met in New York. He wasn't going to OU or anything, and he didn't run the company then. But then he went back to Norway, co-founded it, been killing it.
You guys even have sun over there?
That's the fun part. We're seeking it. So that software is like an AI that seeks out the best place to put solar panels.
Wow.
So they got a lot of contracts now with
Okay.
Dubai and stuff. So yeah, shout out to Glint Solar. Very
Let's go,
cool.
Glenn. All right.
My boy Evan.
This podcast is sponsored by Glint.
No, but it's some really cool tech, and it's I feel like that's one thing that Norway's got going for it. It's well, I mean, here,
Hey, we
here
got
you
that.
No, but like I mean, like the fact that there's a lot of like everybody gets free education up until through your PhD. So like
your PhD.
Yeah. So you and
Don't
you
you wish?
and you have a limit of maybe I think 8 years in consecutive that you can get like basically interest-free loan that dies with you from the government. So
Wow.
it's like
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who's professional students.
That is
right?
kind of weird that like you still have that loan though, even though like it dies with you. Like,
Yeah.
I would be stressed out. I'd be like, if I was rich, I'd just pay that loan off.
I mean, that's the first thing I would pay off too. No, but that's just like one thing that I actually would love to see the stats on how many people actually pay it off. But I think
That would
most
be
people
cool.
do it just out of pride as well.
Oh, because they're like Norway. Baby.
Yeah, no, it's like I want to pay off my debt. Like it's
Oh, I love
a
that.
different,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
like kind of like feeling there. But no, point being like there's a lot of I think I would call it overeducated people in Norway that have all the security blankets that they need. Like they can fall back to anything and they will never be homeless. Like they will be taken care of as long as they are a Norwegian citizen and continue to building. I think the only other thing is like there's. I mean, now I can only say what it was 7 years ago, but it felt like it was less urgent, which means that it's like there's less reason to do so.
People aren't motivated. They're not like.
I mean,
sorry,
you can
that's not what I
always
meant. But
work
they're not
essentially,
like LA or like Austin, like ambitious, like ready to go.
Yeah,
Tulsa.
yeah, I think it's well, yeah. No, I think more than anything though, it's like the fact that like here, like, and that was the one thing that shocked me the most when I got here was here people are like idolizing it. They're like, wow, that guy's driving a Ferrari.
Yeah.
That man made it, or that lady made it. I love it, and I'm so envious, and I want to be a part of that. Or they clearly earned it. In Norway, it's the opposite. Norway's like, wow, you're greedy. That's really embarrassing. Do you really need that much attention?
Yeah.
So it's like striving towards that
We
doesn't
strive.
really seem.
That's why we strive.
We strive.
That's
yeah.
why we strive.
Yeah, but in Norway we don't strive. No, I mean I'm not sitting here shitting on Norway. I think like it's a very good security system that basically is built around just protecting like employees, and it's not built for employers. And I think it's a great system because not everybody needs to be an employer.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't think he's gonna tell you that, but like honestly, a lot of our culture internally is based off of his ideas of what it's like to run a Norwegian company.
Damn.
Like, no, honestly, like the idea that you can get a cabin and like just go there as a normal company thing. I mean, that's such a foreign thing to a lot of U.S. companies. And I think Martin brings a really unique approach to that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's gonna tell you this, but at the end of the day, if he goes back to Norway, he's literally gonna help pioneer the startup scene there.
Well, he better.
I think I should, but I think more than anything, I mean, I don't think I have to. I feel like right now it's grown a lot. There's a lot more startups. There's a lot in Oslo specifically.
Shout out Glenn.
Yeah, there we go. No, but there is a lot of startups that's like popping up, and that's doing great. I mean, I have a couple friends that I went to high school with that's now starting like startups that's doing great.
Okay.
So I love to see it. So I'm not sitting here saying that is a lesser market. I guess more than anything, it's like it's a market where they are going against every headwind that the like government has set up, and I respect that because that's like taking on almost more of a challenge than it is to come to America and start a company here.
Yeah.
Because here people are supporting you. People are like, I love that you are striving for that. I love that we strive. I love that we're I love that you're
need a shirt
looking
now.
here to build something.
I got you guys.
But yeah, no, I would say like again, like if I was an employee, I would want to be an employee in Norway, and that's what we're setting out to do at
Very
Volt
cool.
too. Like any employee, I want them to be treated how I would expect, or at least like want to be treated in Norway. So
Very cool. I love that. Well, enough Norway talk.
please.
We can do it all day. For people watch, like, okay, so do you guys know, like, everyone in your TAM basically? Because you're working with companies that were you.
Oh,
so do you know
not
your
even
exact
close.
TAM? Or?
Not even close. Like our
Okay.
TAM, I mean, not even TAM. Our TAM would be more than just SMS. That's where we're starting.
Gotcha. Okay, but
So,
in the SMS specific
In
space,
the SMS specific space, there's
yeah.
over 673,000 companies worldwide that are
Companies, not
companies worldwide.
employees?
No, companies worldwide.
Oh, that are using.
that are
Gotcha.
building into companies like Tulio. That's building programmatically that they can send SMS. Every single
Interesting.
one of those customers could and should use Volt. So it's
Okay.
like we have a massive, I guess that would be the SOM, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like serviceable, obtainable market.
Mm-hmm.
And then our serviceable addressable market, we're assuming right now is like 5%-ish
Mhm.
of that, which are the ones that are currently getting continuous complaints from
Mhm.
their customers. Like, hey, why did I not receive this message? Because those are the ones that we deem, or that Matt so cleverly deems, the problem aware.
Okay, very cool. Wait, so if someone's watching this, like can you tell them who you guys want to work with specifically? Like name a couple, like 10 companies that you would want to work with. They can think of like, oh, my brother works there or something. I don't know.
Honestly, it's anybody who's deploying SMS at scale for sales and marketing right now. Obviously, work with transactional, but sales and marketing seems to be the most effective for what we're building right now.
Okay.
A couple of companies that we love is Slick Test, Postscript, SMS Bump, Attentive. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody deploying a lot of SMS, so call center solutions. So
Okay.
I don't know. Something that's interesting though is to Martin's point, like the addressable market is actually really awesome because like we're pulling in a lot of data
Mhm.
across different providers, and so we're actually uncovering a lot of hidden secrets when it comes to products that the market really wants. Because at the end of the day, like we're agnostic to provider, we're agnostic to industry. We can really figure out what people want, and we're getting all this data from these companies. We can figure out other products and solutions, similar to how Twilio came up with SMS voice. They really expanded out across the market. We're finding this very new market, and only on the enterprise level you're seeing this, is this role called messaging ops. It's this function that doesn't really have it's not really evangelized yet in the market at this point. And so only the top companies are doing it. But what we're finding is that there's a ton of products and solutions sitting in between that allows you to buy infrastructure to do certain activities. I mean, right now we're focused on analytics. We're looking at integrations of service across different providers. We're even identifying a lot of these micro features that like people would pay a lot of money for. And so at the end of the day, we're just making it easy for people to build the next generation of SMS and communications. Like think of it like a bridge. Like you build a bridge, you don't think much of it, but you've just saved a whole community thousands of hours to focus on what matters, to build jobs, to actually make money, access to different jobs. And we're doing that for engineers and people who are building into the communication space, because now they don't have to waste their time building this boring infrastructure that really is just a copy and paste thing. But now they have the option to buy it and focus on what really matters, revenue driving features that moves their bottom line.
Very cool. And speaking of revenue, how do you guys, how do you make your money? Like, is it on like a transactional basis? Is it
That's
SaaS?
where we're actually kind of unique in the telco space. A lot of people will actually charge per SMS.
Yeah.
And so, and this is part of the problem, is like now everyone's slinging SMS, and really at the end of the day, like they need a third party that's so unbiased to the whole supply chain of it to tell them what is real and what is not.
Yeah.
And so we're doing just a subscription model. You pay us per month.
You guys are a SaaS?
Yes.
Yeah, think of it
Hey.
like Jira, honestly. Like it's
Yeah.
we want to be that developer tool for them to be able to sufficiently build their SMS
Cool.
Infrastructure.
Right.
So we're charging kind of like Jira does, like where it's meant to be a dev tool. It's not meant to be something that's a cost of goods sold for communicating to your customers.
Gotcha.
That's for Tulios and for bandwidth and telnings.
Very cool. And I want to get to your guys' pitch deck. This is a fucking gorgeous pitch deck. I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh, thank you.
I just thought it was like so clean and just like simple, but like also like,
Matt put together the structure for it.
dude, it's like, I thought it was just like really just like, it just spoke to me. You know what I mean? It was
Thank
good.
you.
So Matt put this together?
Well, I guess I put together the pitch deck, but he put together the deck
Whatever
deck
that
design.
means.
Yep.
Whatever
Yes.
that means. Okay, very
No, we
cool.
use this for our sales deck too. So like, not
This looks
obviously
good.
not the same information, but yeah.
I just thought it was clean. You got all the traction there. You had like your past company on here. Like, dude, good stuff, man.
Thank you.
I thought it was good,
Thank
guys.
you.
Anyways, back to the regular scheduled podcast. Oh, actually, wait. Nope, that's not true. Let me pop back over here. So I wanted to cover your positioning slide.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess maybe my question doesn't make sense now that I've already learned it from you guys. So you have Consider Us Switzerland here.
Yeah,
So
Consider us Switzerland. Yeah.
you guys are just like homies to both sides.
We are
yeah.
unbiased to whoever does it. At the end of the day, our job is to guide software companies to optimize their deliverability and really get more of a glass box scenario into their deliverability. Right now, it's just a jumbled mess of just like what is actually happening. It's very black box. We're just trying to create a lot of transparency there, and that means being that unbiased, transparent third party that works across providers, across industries to tell you, hey, here's the thing. We're not trying to sell you SMS or get you to stay on us. We're just trying to give you the fact of the matter and be the source of truth for all things SMS and SMS ops.
Very cool.
Letting
I
people
love that.
pick their own. Like we're not here to make revenue from selling customers on Twilio.
Right.
We're not here to tell them that they shouldn't use Twilio. We're really just agnostic.
But do you have like a channel partnership set up where like if you could close a customer on Twilio, you make money
We
off that?
won't
too?
talk about that right now, but we definitely
It's not
have
something we have
some
right
CPaaS that are looking at selling us and actively looking to even embed us into their solution.
Cool.
Because what's interesting right now is that like a lot of companies need this analytics on the CPaaS front. So CPaaS meaning the Twilios of the world.
Gotcha.
And so because they don't want to build it themselves and they need to work on reliability on their own infrastructure, they're seeing us as this would be a value add for my users.
Yeah.
But then also they might even just resell us to improve their deliverability. And this kind of goes to what we talked about before of like your messages are going out, you don't know why, your customers come to you. When a software company gets that complaint, guess who gets it too? The CPaaS, the Twilios of the world.
Gotcha.
And so it's a lift on the software company's success team, and it's also a lift on the CPaaS's success team.
Very cool.
So really, we're just creating transparency so that all parties in that chain are happy and don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Very
so we're
cool.
cutting, like,
Okay.
directly cutting their tickets.
Yep.
Really.
Very-
Of complaints.
Very-
So.
Their intercom bill just dropped.
Tremendously, prodigiously. Yeah.
Nice. So what's your current traction aside from revenue? Like how many companies have you like? What do you do? What do you define as traction actually besides revenue?
I would say, revenue right now is the most measurable traction because that's the thing. Like for us, it's going into a brand new market where there's the only comparison is do it yourself.
Yeah.
And do it yourself means months of building and like upkeep for internal tools.
Gotcha.
Which has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars tied to it, millions in the long run. But we're also not trying to make this unapproachable. Like right now, we know where we're at. We're an early software. We're going to go way wider. And that's why right now we're selling it for a lot lower. But like when we launched, we gave everybody a 3-month free trial. First day, somebody was like, hey, can you actually just help us? Like, I understand that you might have to do like some Wizard of Oz behind the curtain type of stuff, but if you can just tell us what's wrong here and help us with our infrastructure, we'll pay you $900.
Yeah.
Within 3 weeks, they upgraded it to $1,800.
Nice.
Like, because they wanted more. So like it's at the point now where like we don't even know where the roof is, but we know that the ones that we get in, we want to give them the benefit of the fact that they are invested in giving us feedback. Like we get
Very cool.
CTOs, we get VPs of engineering, we get the VPs of like legal, basically talking to us and telling us like, hey, this is broken. I would love to see this fixed because then we can replace our current manual process. So even our current tool, which started out being, I will be honest, more or less unusable when we launched it.
You've been there, brother.
May
Amen.
29th.
Amen.
I mean, it didn't solve.
Cheers
it
to
didn't.
that.
Yeah, cheers to that. Yeah, we've all been there.
Can
Yeah.
you roll me that over?
Our sponsors, a little
Thank you
sponsor
so
break
much.
here.
Yeah,
Flash
sponsor
well.
break.
Thank you so much to you.
Cheers.
512. Tequila. What was it? 914.
914, the best tequila I know. No, but it was.
Boom.
No, but it's
Actually,
like from the
yeah,
standpoint of
There
your
you go.
position.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cheers. I don't know what we're cheersing for at this point.
We're cheersing for software that doesn't work.
I feel like everyone can understand that. Back to the cult.
Yes, back to the cult.
Why we strive watching this.
Why we strive. No, but for the standpoint of like, what is it that we could produce? Like, that wasn't something that was truly usable. Like, we could onboard something that would solve their problem within the first 3 months.
Gotcha.
But still, right now, it's like they understand that the fact that we are looking to solve this problem is important enough for them to want to like sponsor it. Like, they're basically paying us right now because they are feeling like, okay, shit, these 2 young guys and like the team behind them are like super excited to solve this telecom problem.
Yeah.
That most people would just like
nerds.
look beyond because freaking nerds. So it's like, so we would love for these nerds to solve this for us because I hate to spend $5 million a year on my 50-person engineering team to build these internal tools when I could buy it.
Exactly.
So.
I think what's interesting is that, and we've seen this trend line before, companies will be like, or a product manager will come in and say, SMS is the most powerful solution ever. And I mean, we used to pitch that too. It's like a 98% open rate, 52% engagement rate. We sent up to a 52% conversion rate. Doesn't matter if it doesn't deliver to the inbox to the customer. And what we're finding is that a lot of product managers are suggesting SMS because they hear all the great things about it. And what ends up happening is that they start building it and they start scaling it and they're like, well, that wasn't that easy. So they choose to, do we keep doing this or we not? Or luckily enough, you have a person who's a little bit more of old balls, senior engineer in the room that's worked with SMS, and they're like, this isn't easy, guys. Like you really got to know your stuff to pull this off.
Well, one question, speaking of whether it's easy or not, like, do you guys have, on Respond Flow, do you guys use Volt?
Oh,
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I mean, right now, our customer success rep uses Volt to be able to help our customers.
Do you sell it to Respond Flow?
Oh, we should. We totally should. No, I mean, everything's the same balance sheet. Same accounting tool.
Yeah.
Right now,
We're
Respond
going to buy the
Flow.
Max plan, actually.
I mean, right now, so that's
That'd
one
be
of the
nice.
things that we did over the like year when we transitioned our brand. We was like, what are we going to do if we like keep it? And I think this is a problem that a lot of founders probably find themselves in if they are launching a bunch of products. Because if they have a whole team where everybody has a Respond Flow email, which sucks to transition everything, by the way. That was a lot of a heavy lift.
I just switched from WeStrive app to WeStrive. It was annoying. But I didn't have a whole team. It was just like two emails, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we had 17.
No,
so it was like transit, and not just that, but like our Google Drives and everything.
The SEO, everything.
Oh,
like,
so much.
SEO
such a lift.
gone.
Yeah, killed.
Yeah.
So then we just had to start again with textvolt.com.
Yeah.
It's like just for Volt, and it's still that didn't say the brand name. So, but not about that. More than anything, we realized that we don't want to have a support team that has to have, once we scale up, a Respond Flow email and a Volt email, and then have 2 websites that should lead to both. And if you log in, you should be able to choose whatever product. So we basically decided to just rebrand like Respond Flow into Volt messaging. And then
That's smart. So you can like choose when you go to the website.
Exactly.
Smart.
So now it's kind of, and I love the way that got built. By the way, it looks like if you go to the website, it looks like you're basically picking like a map of like a 90s racing game, because like the screen kind of lifts up a little bit when you switch it between. I love it.
Okay, I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you want to leave the audience with throughout this journey? Like we can cut this out if you have no good ideas. Follow us here. Send us blank. Like, what are you guys thinking?
Matt.
Honestly,
Matt.
I'll do a quick selfish. Honestly, there's a new industry and a new function in the role called messaging ops. Just wait for it. It's going to grow really quickly in the next few years. If you're any software company that's doing anything communication, watch out for it, because it's going to be a real thing and you're going to need it.
There you go. Boom. And then guess what you're going to need that comes with that?
Oh, we already got thank you to Aziz for buying the domain for
MessagingOps.com.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
So you'll read everything about messaging ops there. So
Dang.
so we're really like big believers, more so in the fact that the category is going to be necessary for every channel. Like I would say more so than Volt. I know there's going to be competitors, and I welcome it, because we wish we had Volt when we were building Respond Flow.
Thank you, son.
Cheers.
Salute.
Salute.
Salute. Thank you for having us.
Hey, and that's
Cheers, man.
why we strive.
We strive.
Bam. I wanted to thank you for watching this entire episode of Why We Strive. Be sure you head to whywestrive.com and subscribe, so every Tuesday you can see incredible interviews with some of the best tech founders, investors, and creatives in the industry. Have an amazing day, and don't forget to keep striving.